The Bolivian capital of La Paz has been in the grip of a major turmoil for the past several weeks. On the 12th of April, Bolivian journalists hit the streets protesting against a possible new law that will curtail the freedom of press. But the government insists that the proposed new press bill is in accordance with international human rights. But it isn't just the journalists who are out on the streets, because on the 13th of April, teachers from across Bolivia marched to the capital. For weeks now, they've been protesting against a new curriculum that they say has been brought in by the government to stifle critical thinking. These protests have in fact turned violent at times, with clashes between the police and the protesters. Our next report gets you insights as to what is unfolding in Bolivia at this moment.
Bolivian journalists protested against the proposed new press bill in front of the Congress and the government palace on the 12th of April. They held up a banner that read "Dignity without a gag" and burnt the new bill. In a symbolic gesture, some protesters even taped their mouth shut to denounce the legislation. The new Bill 305 is promoted by the government's majority in Congress. Especially contentious is the article that penalizes racism, hate discourse, discrimination, and of racial superiority. But the Press Federation of La Paz fears that the law will be used against legitimate investigations against government officials. The controversial proposal has been dubbed as the gag bill. Furthermore, freedom of expression in Bolivia is granted by the current press law, which is nearly 100 years old.
They are judicializing our work. It's even suggested 7-year prison term for doing our functions. So our work can't be subject to prosecution. The press law gives us rights, and they want to ignore it. It's a law that in 2 years will be 100, and they want to ignore it.
Journalists are not the only aggrieved community in Bolivia. For weeks, teachers in Bolivia have staged protests against the new curriculum established by the Education Ministry. More teachers for public schools and a higher education budget are some of their key demands. Last month, the teachers attempted to occupy the Education Ministry headquarters in La Paz. Clashes between protesting teachers and police preventing entry had broken out. On the 10th of April, violence again escalated between police and teachers during a demonstration in La Paz. Riot police were seen cornering protesters, hitting them and firing paint pellets and pepper spray at them. In Bolivia, education is free and compulsory up to high school. But the quality and standard of education, though, has fallen below that of neighboring countries. More than 140,000 teachers depend on the public budget. Given the pertinence of issues at stake, it is crucial that the government of President Luis Arce lends a sympathetic ear to the concerns and demands of protesting teachers and journalists.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.